37-20 at the end of the third quarter. They were just all over them, and they end up winning 37-23. That was yesterday. So we come to today, as I said, Duke up on Texas A&M 21-3. But in the Advocare V100 Bowl, Andre Williams versus Kadeem Carey, a great running matchup. Well, it wasn't really. Arizona State 42, Boston College 19. Tough game for Andre Williams. 75 yards and a touchdown. On the other side, Kadeem Carey saying, you know what? I'm the better running back. 169, so about 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. Arizona comes up the victor. UCLA, Virginia Tech. At the beginning, it was close. It was 7-7. It was 14-7. They could not pull away, and there was 14-10. But fourth quarter, everything changed. 28-2. They win 42-12. The only point scored by Virginia Tech were on a safety when the punter stepped on the end line. An update: Texas A&M has just scored to make it 21-10. They are trying to make a big comeback over Duke after being down very, very early. That score was Johnny Manziel, obviously, throwing it to Travis Labhart for a 23-yard touchdown. Josh Lambo added the extra point. Rice against Mississippi State, and Rice scored first, 7-0. Well, the rest of the game, different story. Mississippi State, 44 unanswered points. They win 44-7. So tomorrow, just to give you a couple of the games going on, Nebraska, Georgia will be a good one. The North Texas Mean Green and the UNLV Rebels meet in the heart of Dallas, presented by Plains Capital Bank Bowl. Iowa, LSU in the Outback Bowl. We also have Wisconsin versus South Carolina in the Capital One Bowl, and this is a great day, by the way. And we get our first 2 BCS bowls. I know, finally. By the way, there will be 4 games from 1 Eastern, or before. Nebraska, Georgia, UNLV, Texas at 12 Eastern, and then Iowa, LSU, Wisconsin, South Carolina at 1 Eastern. But at 5 Eastern, we get Stanford, Michigan State, the Rose Bowl, presented by Vizio. Big game. Quite exciting. UCF, Baylor, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. That will be great as well. So, tomorrow is a big day of college football. Be excited. With that, we will move on to... really quickly, Jimbo Fisher just signed a 5-year contract with Florida State. So, he will be staying, and Florida State making a difference. Dalvin Cook. You know what? He recruited to Florida, but he said, nah, I'm moving to Florida State now. Obviously showing that Florida State, with this appearance in the championship game, that makes a difference. So, with that, we are going to take our first commercial break. When we return, we will be going all basketball, college basketball, NBA, and then we will update you on the NHL, including the Say What segment. So stick right here.
Your presentation of national sports is brought to you by Spreaker.com. Broadcast and listen to news, radio, and music with one low monthly rate. Your show will be right back after this word from the local stations.
Hello, USA, and other assorted various countries, possibly. Hello, every city in the USA. I don't know, probably only the US listening, but there may be assorted other countries. I don't know. Family all in the US right now, so no, probably not. But I'm sure we have some great listeners out there enjoying the show, and we will be hitting college basketball now. And we have a score update. Many teams in their conference play. Villanova versus Butler. This is not a game that is a conference game. Villanova coming off their first defeat of the year at the hands of Syracuse, 78-62. They dropped to 11-1, but they are up right now, 58-53, in a tight one against 10-2 Butler, who are 7-1 at home. Memphis, they have 2 losses on the season, both coming to ranked teams, but they are up 84-62 against South Florida. Number 22 Iowa in their home opener against Nebraska. No, this is not their Big Ten opener. Nebraska. Oh wait, is this Nebraska's first year in? Nebraska is part of the Big Ten, so Iowa and Nebraska going head to head in the Big Ten opener. I thought it was the Big Ten opener. Iowa's up 65-57. There is a game later on tonight, Connecticut against Houston in their conference opener. That'll be tipping off in about 4 minutes, actually. Syracuse against Eastern Michigan, and Syracuse wins. They will be going to their home opener next game. This is their last non-conference game. They will be going into their home opener against... Is Villanova part of their conference? No. That was an ex-rivalry, but they will be going to their home opener in the ACC against Miami, and it's going to be a great year with Duke, of course, and UNC in their conference as well. Ohio State pulled it out 78-69. They win their Big Ten opener, and it was not easy. They were only up by 1 at halftime, but they are a second-half team, and they were led by LaQuinton Ross, who put up 25 points and 12 rebounds. Big game for him. Aaron Craft finished 2 rebounds and 3 points, shy of a triple-double. Also had a block and 4 steals. On Purdue's side, they were led by Ronnie Johnson and Tyrone Johnson, both playing well. I am not sure if they are brothers. I'm going to have to look that up right now. Ronnie and Tyrone Johnson. Let's see. Ronnie and Tyrone Johnson are brothers. Give us the answer, computer/Google. And no. They are not. No, yes they are. Yes they are. They are brothers. Oh, that's cool. So the brothers played well, but unfortunately they can't come away with the win. Michigan State was put on upset alert, down 7 to Penn State going to the second half, but they come away with the win. They're a great second half team as well, 79-63. Duke cruises by Elon, 86-48. Iowa State defeats Northern Illinois, and Louisville, after losing a couple of games early this year, they're taking on UCF. Well, UCF not quite as good at basketball right now as they are at football. They lose 90-65 to the Cardinals. And North Carolina close out the top 25 games, wins 84-51 over UNC Wilmington. Indiana, another big one, lost in overtime to Illinois, who continues to play well. And yeah, that is it for college basketball. So, looking at the games, the big games ahead in the weeks to come, and we start with San Diego State, Colorado State. That should be a good game as well. San Diego State, one of the top teams in the country right now. Not much big right now. You know, there's the conference openers. You got a bunch of good teams that will be going head-to-head. But right now, you know, there are not many marquee matchups. You know, I go through the next week. I'm looking at Saturday right now. And we don't have a top 25 matchup for what seems like a pretty long time. Michigan State, Indiana will be an interesting game nonetheless, as well as Duke, Notre Dame. But we finally get 2, as a matter of fact, on Sunday. Iowa, Wisconsin, number 22 versus number 4. And, 3. What a treat. Oregon, Colorado as well, and then San Diego State versus Kansas. So, 3 good games on Sunday. So finally, some good action on Sunday. We go to the rankings now before we move on to the NBA. Arizona currently up top in first place, followed by Syracuse, Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Michigan State. That rounds out the top 5. Number 6 through 10, Oklahoma State, Duke, Wichita State, Baylor, and Oregon are all in the top 10 as well. Villanova, Florida, Iowa State, Louisville, and Kentucky are 11 through 15. Then we have Kansas at 16, UConn at 17, Memphis at 18, UNC at 19, and at 20 we have Colorado. Then at 21 we have San Diego State at 10-1, Iowa at 11-2, UMass at 11-1. The Zags got Gonzaga at 11-2 at 24, and 25th ranked Mizzou at 11-1. only 4 undefeated teams remaining: Wisconsin, Ohio State, Syracuse, and Arizona. Actually, Wichita State and Oregon are as well. Wow, Iowa State too. Wow, well, that's more than I expected. But it will be interesting for the next couple of weeks to come. Now we go. NBA action. Chicago Bulls in action. Portland OKC, a big matchup. They're in action. It will be good. Day of basketball. We start with the games that are already over. Paul Millsap, 34 points, 15 rebounds. Hawks win 92-91. Big win. They rallied from behind. Terrific game. Pacers taking on the Cavs in Indy. And no biggie, 91-76. Paul George pours in 21. The Warriors against the Magic. Easy game for the Warriors. They win 94-81. Despite it being a close game early on. But then the Warriors pulled away. Big second quarter for them, putting up 32 points. Now in the games currently going on, we start with the games farthest away. Raptors and Bulls, 42-36. Bulls have the lead right now. Taj Gibson has poured in 10 points off the bench, and DeMar DeRozan has 9 for the Raptors. Trailblazers and Thunder, the big marquee game of the night. The Thunder up by 12, proving that they're the best. Kevin Durant, 22 points in the first quarter alone. The Trailblazers, led by LaMarcus Aldridge and Damian Lillard, have been unable to get anything going. Rockets and Kings in a shootout right now, 90-96, 39 remaining in the fourth. It is tight. James Harden has 30 points. Rudy Gay with 21. DeMarcus Cousins, 15 rebounds. The Spurs and the Nets, it's 109-86. Spurs cruising by the struggling Nets. So, what's going on in the NBA? Well, we are going to start with the Lakers and Cavs. They are in discussions of swapping Pau Gasol for Andrew Bynum. For that, we bring in the expert on the show, me right now, because we don't have Blake, unfortunately. But Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol, you know what? I don't like this trade for either team. Cavaliers get an older player. I kind of like it for the Cavs because they do get rid of his contract. But why? Why would the Lakers do it? They have no reason to do it, honestly. Bynum is obviously not devoted to basketball. They need players for the future, and Bynum, unfortunately, is not that player anymore. He is not a player you can stash for the future. Pau Gasol, on the other hand, why would the Cavs really need him? Besides the fact of dumping off contract. You know, Gasol is older. He's turnover prone. This is a Cavs team that I thought was rebuilding. But this trade rumor kind of it's proven me wrong there. But honestly, I don't see it. I don't see Bynum really playing for any team well again. Honestly, I don't see why any team would really want him at all. Now, Stan Van Gundy, the former NBA coach, referred to the Bulls as Bush League on a radio interview on Monday. And as much as I agree with him, I'd have to say that, don't say that, because you are a little bit higher up on the attention scale than I am. Nobody is going to be reporting on ESPN that Noah Taborda agreed with Stan Van Gundy about them being Bush League. They're just not that good. The Nets are not a good team, but Van Gundy, you might want to keep your mouth shut, but honestly, the Nets are. They are. Irving is having an MRI on his knee. He got injured today in the Pacers game. He said, when I went back, I didn't feel anything right. I thought the worst happened. I felt something pop in my knee. I was falling down all over the place. It was a painful experience. I was praying to God everything was okay. I just hope for the best. We'll see what's going on. Hopefully he's fine. I love Kyrie. Great player. Uncle Drew is phenomenal. Now to the next game. A plea deal in Ohio fraud case was linked to the Heat. So that's interesting for the Miami Heat as well. And the Atlanta Hawks Horford had season-ending surgery. He's out for the year. Deng of the Bulls is back, and the Nets Karolinko is back as well. So maybe that will be a big difference for them. And Pacers, it's a sad day in Indiana. Chuck DeVoe, the co-founder of the Indiana Pacers, died at the age of 83 today. So, with that, we look at the standings and we predict how these divisions are going to come and end right now. Well, we're going to start with the Eastern Conference, which is not very good right now. Toronto is the best in the East. at the Atlantic in the East, and I'm going to say that they are going to come out right now as division winners.